Hello everybody, welcome back to another LEGO City Update. Jordan here. Today we're going to be working on the huge expansion in which we recently added to the LEGO City. That's not up top here, it's actually down below. Down here we've added multiple platforms to create a perimeter that goes around the bottom of the LEGO City. The big question is what are we going to be building under here? And today we're actually going to be answering that question. Well, for starters, we have a lot of train track that currently isn't in use. Also, we have a lot of LEGO trains. They're currently sitting stale here on the train track that circulates around the LEGO City. I definitely think this space under here is going to be a perfect spot for all of those trains and train track. Also under here we have a lot of space in which can be used to create a bunch of different scenes. There's one platform here and another here, both of which are 40 inches by 97 inches long, which would equate to essentially 40 LEGO base plates. Not to mention the space created by these huge 8-foot by 16-inch platforms that actually connect the two larger platforms. So we definitely have a lot of thinking to do because that's a lot of space to fill with some pretty awesome LEGO stuff. That could include castle, Star Wars, Harry Potter, scenery, and much more, which would all be encompassed by LEGO trains. So I guess we got lots to think about here in this LEGO City update, and today we're going to be completing a rough draft layout for all of the tables here underneath the LEGO City. So the first thing I did is built a basic perimeter layout using the LEGO RC train track. Now I've got a lot of things that go toward creating a pretty cool looking train yard. So I'm thinking we can create a train yard over here on this side so that there's some great space where we can park some trains that are not currently being operated. After building a basic perimeter, I decided to add a bunch of switch tracks in here, in which forms a basic layout for a train yard. And now I think I have a new plan in which is going to allow the trains to switch direction. After a lot, and I mean a lot, of trial and error, we've managed to come up with a pretty cool train system down here that has 2 continuous loops and 2 spots in which the trains can actually switch direction. And you can see those 2 switches are supported by these stilts running through the center of the platforms. Now we're going to start bringing some of our trains down here and also start adding some of our structures to the train yard and surrounding area. So as discussed before, our intent here in this video is to get the rough draft layout done for underneath the table here, but I actually think we're going to get a lot further than that, and we're actually going to have some trains operational under the table pretty quickly here. Just wanted to discuss a few things before we move forward here and show you some of the progress that we've made. I've placed the overhead crane right here on 2 48 by 48 gray base plates. Also right over here we have the train garage and then the other loading crane right there. We also have our tower just outside of the train yard that's located right here. Now the thing that I wanted to discuss was base plates. Unfortunately at this time we're left with the white melamine surface. It's one of the reasons why I decided to go with the white surface rather than using basic plywood, just because it gives a cleaner finished look. Why am I not using base plates at this particular time? Well, these stretches on either side of the table here can be covered by these 48 by 48 gray base plates. And you would need 10 per side, so you would need 20 of those 48 by 48 gray base plates. And the larger platforms on either side would require 40 standard base plates. So 80 standard base plates to cover the platforms on either side. Altogether, it would cost about $1,000 to cover all of these surfaces under here with base plates. So that's why for now we're running with just the white melamine surface. And that's one of the reasons why I'm saying this is more so a rough draft than a complete product today. Just so you guys know, this project here had me up until midnight and had me up at 6 a.m. I'm absolutely fired up to continue working on this project. So I've got the trains placed under there and we're ready to run them. And of course, a lot of them are out of batteries. When trains don't run for a long time, they run out of batteries, or you'll leave them out of batteries, whatever. Now, a long time ago, I actually bought these right here, which are rechargeable batteries from IKEA. And I have not used them yet because I have not had my trains operational in a very long time. So today is very exciting that I've got the batteries charging here, ready to do a battery swap so we can get these things flying around the track again. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to start your engines. There we go. We've got the heavy haul train in the inner loop, making its way around. Boom. And you know what? If we want to switch its direction, we can just take this little switch track right here, give that a little flip, and it should start going the other way. A little bit of a curve there. Shouldn't have a problem though, switching direction. And now it's going that way there. Sweet. Now, my favorite train, my first train. And away it goes. It's the high-speed passenger train, and boy oh boy, can this thing go fast. Terrorizes the track. Oh, it feels so good to have trains operational here underneath the Lego City. Now I'm going to start placing some miscellaneous sets down here so we can discuss what layouts or what scenes we can create as we move forward into the future. Now, the high-speed passenger train here is running on those rechargeable batteries. And let me tell you, they pack a punch. A train's responsiveness can be based on the power of the battery. First time using the rechargeables, and I am happy with their performance. This thing is booking it. I do not think I want to make it go any faster than that. Woo! Look at it go. All right, so I'll admit it. I've had a little bit of fun this morning with Lego trains. It's an absolute pleasure to have them going here again. So we've got the exterior loop with the high-speed passenger train, and of course we can change it for any of the other trains as well. Then we've got the interior loop with the heavy haul train. We've also got the overhead crane, the dumper crane, and the little train garage there, along with the little control tower right there on the right-hand side. The interior loop has the double crossover, so you can change the direction of the trains. But what are we planning on doing under here? Well, eventually I'd like to landscape the entire project. However, that entails that we need a lot of Lego base plates. Now I've put this little wall here in which used to enclose Diagon Alley, just to show that we could do like walls, tunnels, even mountainous like landscaping if we truly wanted to. I've also put this little shrimp shack here, the VIP sign, because we could put that on some stilts and we could integrate all sorts of different scenes all throughout this area. Now it's going to be a project. I'm going to show you some ideas that I have and discuss them. It's sort of like an open discussion. But this project is going to take a long time and, as you can imagine, a pretty large dollar investment if we were to do it correctly. I've also put this waterfall here, which used to go from the upper platform for the Ninjago cliff edge down to the lower platform, just indicating once again we could do tunnels, scenery, mountain, cliff edges, waterfall, stuff like that. Also, in behind that, I've put the King's Castle. Just sneak through here. We had a look at that one earlier in this video. We could do some awesome scenes using Castle, and that's one that we're for sure going to move forward with. In fact, I have another one of these King's Castles here, and what I plan to do is actually combine them into one and create a large castle. And of course, we would use green base plates. We do all sorts of scenery, rock work, mountains, stuff like that, all around these castles to create sort of like a medieval scene. Does that mean that the blacksmith's gonna move down here? I'm not sure. I do really like it in that campground there, and that campground is looking absolutely fantastic. One that we didn't discuss earlier is actually Mario. I've got the Mario starter course right here, and that's something that we could run with. But after building the starter course, I was like, or putting it together like this here, I was like, I don't know if I really want to do that. I'm not a huge fan of the theme. Of course, I love Mario, but I'm not really a fan of the Lego sets. I just think they're not cohesive and could be done in a way better way. So if we were to do Mario under here, it would maybe get like a narrow strip on those long running boards connecting the two large platforms. And if we were to do it, I think it needs a backdrop, a Mario themed backdrop, like with clouds and blue, and I think it needs to be done correctly in a way that's just completely different than what this set looks like right now, because these things are just sort of a hot mess. I'm not a huge fan of them, and it definitely would take a lot of parts and pieces to do it correctly. And that goes with anything down here. It's gonna take a lot of parts and pieces to do it correctly for sure. If I wanted to do it all correctly on both platforms and the connecting platforms, I'm gonna say probably ballpark-ish, probably $7,000 to $10,000 to probably make this area down here perfect and the way I envision it. So as you can imagine, it's going to be a project that's going to be spread over probably a number of years, because we still got lots of other things to do in the Lego City. I've also stuck the burrow right here. I think if we had a meandering forest here with creeks and cliff edges and also castles and whatnot, we'd be able to stick in things from Harry Potter as well to sort of match that theme, and we could definitely stick in the burrow right here. Also on this side over here, I've got Luke's land speeder, and that's a representation of Mos Eisley. We could do a Star Wars Mos Eisley scene down here for sure. And then we just have some basic trees right there as well, just indicating that we can do some landscaping as well. Well, like I said many times in this video, landscaping will be the key for down here, and that's going to take a lot of parts and pieces and at a pretty big dollar investment. Now you might be wondering, why does this train crossover right here turn so weird? I did fiddle around with this track for quite some time, and it was the only way that I could get it working between all of these legs, and also when factoring in the different switches. Now, one thing you might be wondering as well is, why is the trains taking up so much room when we have so much potential to create scenes under here? I was able to whip this train's scene all together probably within about 6 to 8 hours, so it wasn't too big of a time investment, and I figured, why have some empty tables down here when we could have a sick train layout. So for now, we're running with the sick train layout, and then once we get a little more comfortable with this and have a lot of fun with Lego trains, we'll look to bring it to the next level with all of these different scenes. Also, something that I'll be doing in the very near future is adding LED strip lights all around this area here. So I'll plug in some LED strips, and we'll run them up the pole, and it'll go all the way around the perimeter just above the tables, so that everything is very well lit down here. We're not going to get started on these projects right away, because we still have to finish up some stuff up here, such as making our custom mock modular buildings like the arcade, in which I'm currently working on, finishing the amusement park, and also building our zoo on the far end of the Lego City there. So we've got lots of stuff going on here, but I'm extremely excited to have our trains operational for the first time in a very long time underneath the table here. Let me know what you guys think by commenting below, and let us know what scenes you'd like to see under the table here as we move forward into the future. Thanks a lot for stopping by today. Have yourselves a great one, and stay tuned. Farewell.